Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we're tackling something literally every single one of us deals with: stress. We all face it, right? But here's the thing: how we respond in the heat of the moment can absolutely make or break our mental well-being. The big question is, are we navigating those really tough times through deliberate, intentional action, or are we falling into that super sneaky, soothing trap of passive consumption? Let's dive right in and break down exactly why our brains actually crave all the wrong things during hard times, and more importantly, how we can take our power back.
Section 1. The Stress Consumption Trap. What happens when negativity hits?
Think about it for a second. Whether it's a sudden flash of anger, a huge wave of anxiety, or just this deep, heavy sense of sadness, our very first reaction is usually our biggest hurdle. I want you to actually picture the last time you faced an unexpected, miserable event. You're feeling totally depleted, maybe super irritated. What was your immediate, knee-jerk reaction to soothe that uncomfortable feeling?
Well, if you're like most of us, your reaction is probably sitting right here on this list. We instinctively go searching for instant gratification. Maybe it's devouring a whole bag of salty chips or sugary junk food, or, splurging online at 2 a.m. for things we definitely do not need. Or maybe it's doom-scrolling social media for hours on end, or binge-watching shows until our eyes literally blur. As the source material points out, our minds completely shift into consumption mode. Instead of creating or giving, we just want to take in absolutely anything that numbs the discomfort.
Moving on to Section 2. Short-circuiting the rational brain. The biology behind the binge.
Okay, so why do we do this? Why do we eat the whole box of cookies when we know we really shouldn't? To figure this out, we need to meet the neocortex. You can think of this as the rational part of your brain that handles all those beneficial long-term decisions. Basically, it's the adult in the room. It's the voice telling you to save your money, eat a salad, or finally go to sleep. It is the absolute architect of your best judgments.
But here's the crazy part about what stress does to us. It completely short-circuits this rational brain. Literally, it takes it offline. When fear or frustration totally takes over, the neocortex just shuts down. And because we suddenly feel so wildly out of control, we desperately latch onto anything, and I mean anything, that offers even a tiny temporary sense of solace, even if it's super destructive in the long run.
Which brings us to Section 3. Dopamine versus endorphins. Two very different chemical rewards.
Right now, inside your body, there is this fascinating chemical battle going on. It's essentially the quick fix versus the lasting solution. Over in one corner, we have dopamine, engaging in immediate pleasure, like buying that useless kitchen gadget or crushing that salty snack, releases dopamine. It's a chemical that temporarily gives us this false sense of reward and hope when everything else seems totally out of control. And sure, it feels amazing for a fleeting moment, but let's be honest, it's really just a chemical band-aid.
Now in the other corner, we have endorphins. These are your body's natural, genuine feel-good hormones. But here's the catch. They do not come for free from staring at a glowing screen. Moving our bodies with intention, actually expending our energy with the goal of becoming better, is the key that unlocks them. And when you do that, it provides this incredible, genuine rush of empowerment, which is so much better than a cheap temporary thrill. Let's look at Section 4. Expend energy to gain control. The shift from taking to giving.
I know, it sounds totally counterintuitive, right? When you're super stressed out and exhausted, your first instinct is to just rest. But the secret here is that we must deliberately shift from taking things in to putting energy out. Just look at the contrast here. On one side, you've got this temporary, dopamine-fueled illusion of consumption. It's instant gratification that essentially leaves you exactly where you started the second that high fades. But on the flip side, expending energy, yeah, it requires real effort and willpower, especially when your tank feels empty. But the reward? It's massive. It physically helps plug your neocortex back in, restoring the power of your rational brain.
All right, Section 5. Habits for hard times, activating your effort and willpower.
So, how do we actually pull this off and break that doom-scrolling cycle? Well, here is your toolkit. We're talking about exercising, going for a walk, doing some meditation or deep breathing, even yoga or just taking 10 minutes for journaling. Honestly, even simply spending some time out in the sunlight or helping others makes a huge difference. And yes, I hear you, these things absolutely require effort, but they are exactly what brings the power back to your neocortex. By supporting others or working to improve ourselves, we actively overwrite that sneaky urge to just sit back and mindlessly consume.
And of course, we absolutely cannot forget the basics here. Sticking to a solid routine, eating actual nutritious food, sleeping properly, and, drinking enough water. It is so incredibly easy to let these things slide when your anxiety is running high. But maintaining these baseline routines becomes exponentially more important during life's stressful phases. Think of it this way. These aren't just annoying chores. They are the literal biological foundation that prevents your rational brain from short-circuiting in the very first place.
So, I'm going to leave you with this really vital thought to reflect on today. The next time hardship arrives, and let's face it, it definitely will, you have a choice to make. Are you going to fall right back into that comfortable trap of instant gratification and passive consumption? Or will you purposefully choose to build a habit of effort? Remember the biology we just went through. Move your body, expend your energy, and reclaim your rational mind. What will your first move be? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember, when the pressure is on, always try to choose action over consumption. Catch you next time.